Let me bring in one of our guests, Mr. Gunnlaugsson. You are the head of the Progressive Party here, an opposition party. You have been a big supporter. It's a controversial issue whether among the politicians in this country whether there should be a referendum at all. But you've been a big supporter. Why?
Well, it's according to our constitution. There must be a referendum. After the president made his decision, the logical next step is to hold the referendum. We have, however, been with all the other parties in Parliament taking part in these talks with the British and Dutch in order to see whether we can reach an agreement before the referendum. But even if we had reached an agreement, many people would say that the only democratic thing to do is to hold this referendum.
We only got a few seconds. You said that the Icesave deal, the talks for Icesave should collapse. It would be best, you said, if the UK and the Netherlands sued this country instead of this country continuing those talks. Explain that.
Well, the best thing would be to reach a diplomatic resolution. But, of course, the British and Dutch also have the option of suing if they feel that they're not getting something which they are legally obliged to get. They have that option.
But why would you prefer that?
I don't prefer that to a diplomatic solution. But I'm only saying this, even if we don't reach a conclusion in these talks, we know where the thing would go after that.
Well, let's talk about that. Holland has already made some, and the UK have already made some pretty serious concessions. At least that's what some government officials here in this country believe and have said that, though they say that the deal isn't perfect yet. What exactly would it take to make you happy?
Well, these concessions aren't that big, even though some officials in this country are saying that they're getting closer. But let's bear in mind that those same officials wanted to push through the original agreement before they'd even seen it. So this is a political matter for them. They just want to finish this whatever way it's done. As for the concessions made by the British and Dutch, well, there are some concessions on interest rates. But let's bear in mind that they have been able to show no legal obligation for the Icelandic state to insure all these deposits. We have the deposit insurance fund, which, of course, is intended to insure the deposits, but nowhere does it say that the Icelandic state, or any other state for that matter, is supposed to insure such a deposit fund.
There are a lot of countries out there with fiscal problems paying their debts. Would Iceland effectively be saying with this vote, you know what, sometimes you don't have to pay?
Well, Iceland is going to pay all its debts. Iceland is always going to fulfill all its legal obligations. And that's why we've said we have no fears of taking this thing to court if they want to do that. But we don't want to pay a lot more than we're legally obliged to do. We've offered to pay more, but at least we want to get a fair deal in doing so.